Good morning, this is Dr. McDaniel. I'm a board certified obstetrician gynecologist in New York City, and I'm bringing to you all things health related for women. Thank you for joining me at the corner today. And let's see, it's Saturday because obviously I'm not in the office in Manhattan. The office is Midtown Manhattan, so just a shout out to anyone in the tri-state area. If you'd like to come by, you could set an appointment. We do same day appointments, just depending on the time that you're interested in. And you can obviously call the office 212-631-7900, make an appointment to come in person for GYN concerns and issues. And we're still doing the televisits. Apparently a lot of the states are starting to lock down on doctors who can provide televisits out of state because technically to practice medicine in any state we have to have a license in that state. So currently I only hold a New York State license. I've only practiced in New York. I am slowly working because it's a lot of time, a lot of money and expense and hassle and pain, but I'm slowly working on getting a New Jersey license too, just so I can be flexible. But some of the states are starting to close down on allowing out-of-state doctors to continue to perform televisits in those states. But as of now, I'm only aware of 3 states that have closed down out-of-state doctors. That's Florida, Massachusetts, and New Jersey. So I'm still doing the televisits. If you're not in one of those states, I can do that televisit if you are a patient that I've already seen in the office in New York. Then it's just a continuity of care. So they're still allowing continuity of care. They're not allowing new patients because during the quarantine and all of that, I was able to see new patients everywhere. Didn't matter. So I saw new patients on the televisit. I saw a patient every single continent in the world. And I've seen patients all over the world, lots of different countries. I mean, everywhere. India, Africa, Asia, South America, North America, all over Europe, everywhere during the lockdown. And all over the states too, all over the continental states. I've seen new patients, not just old patients. I saw old patients who scattered, but I've also seen new patients from these states. Which is kind of strange to me. I'm thinking, why are you setting an appointment with me when you live in Texas or Florida? I'm sure there's plenty of doctors in Texas, Florida, or Virginia or something who are also doing televisits. But I've seen a lot of patients from all over the states who are new also, and it wasn't a problem. But now they're slowly starting to crack down. So as of now, I know that I can't see new patients from Florida, New Jersey, nor Massachusetts, but other states are fine. So that being said, let me go into the presentation that I was going to give. It's a quick presentation, and it's just about still getting tested for HIV because I feel like, well, I guess first off, because I had a patient about a month ago, a young woman who was positive for HIV, and she was shocked because she was just with her fiance, and she said that they had both been tested for HIV about a year and a half ago. So I've been feeling like over the last 15-20 years or so, a lot of the patients who come in don't really feel like HIV is a big deal because obviously people aren't dying from it really anymore, and they don't think that they're in a position to contract it. So I try to tell everyone when they ask to be tested for STDs, the importance of also still screening for HIV. I mean, obviously prevention's the best. You don't want to just look for a problem once you have it. You want to prevent it. But HIV is still very important because if you get HIV, I mean, you're doomed to a lifetime of medication. If you're not on medication, you're going to die from HIV, which is human immunodeficiency virus. So HIV bottoms out your immune system, and without an immune system, you die from the slightest little provocation, a cut on your hand, cut on your foot, a mosquito bite that gets infected. Antibiotics don't work if your immune system is not available to aid them. So it's very important. And The kind of big deal is obviously to prevent, and then after that for testing, technically for HIV, you're supposed to get tested twice if you want to be 100%. Because when the labs test for HIV, they're not actually looking for that infection. They're looking for your body's reaction to being infected with HIV. And that has a lag time. So when someone gets infected with HIV, they're not immediately positive for that infection. What happens is your body has to respond to the infection, and it has to produce proteins to try to fight the infection. Those proteins or antibodies take a bit for your body to produce them. So they can take on average anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So if someone gets tested within that kind of 3 to 6 month window, they're still going to come back negative for HIV. That's why when you get tested for HIV, you're supposed to get retested if you really want to confirm that negative, no infection really means that you're negative, you don't have that infection. You're supposed to get retested in 3 to 6 months after the original test. And then needless to say, if you're engaging in unprotected intercourse, then you want to continually get tested every 6 months to confirm that you're still really staying normal or negative for infection. And also, it's not just you, it's your sexual partner. So ideally, you're supposed to get your sexual partner tested at the same time that you're tested, and every 6 months ideally, to confirm it's still that you're both still really negative. And I guess lastly would be, I was going to say one other last thing. What was that you're both still really negative? I guess that was it. For the HIV, oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say lastly, about 90% of people who get infected with HIV will show that they're infected within 5 weeks. So at the least, you'd want to repeat the test in 6 weeks to confirm that's still negative. And then that drops the possibility that you're in that window of a false negative where you really have the infection but the lab's not able to show it. You drop that to less than 10% if you repeat the test just in 6 weeks. So I hope that's helpful information. That's funny, there's wild turkeys out here. Of course, I think you guys know I don't know how to turn the camera around, but I'll link it on. I hope that's helpful information on why we still should get tested. Everyone should still get tested for HIV if they're sexually active. And either they're not monogamous or they're monogamous without barrier contraception, or they don't know if it's really monogamous. Maybe they're monogamous, but they don't know about the partner. Is the partner also monogamous? So have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining me at GYN Corner. Hit the like, subscribe, and follow buttons if you enjoy the content that I'm providing. And check out the YouTube, the podcast, and the Facebook. That's all GYN Corner Supply. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. If you can see, I don't want to get too close to those wild turkeys. There's about 4 or 5 wild turkeys over there. I don't know if you can see. There's one out in the open now. Wild turkey. Wild turkeys are, of course, very skinny compared to their farmed cousins or brothers and sisters. The wild ones don't get as much to eat, and they don't get all of that grain and corn. They just get bugs, flies, worms, the usual. So they're not as well fed as their farm-raised ones. But also, I'm sure their lifespan is a lot longer since they're free to roam. So they're all out getting their meal on this field here. Here's a little overview of this side of the farm. This is a really huge farm. We've been coming here for, golly, how long? Since 2011. We've been coming here since 2011. Out here in New Jersey, it's Baymar Farm. We've been coming here to Baymar Farm since 2011. when Jill started her horse riding lessons. She actually started her lessons about a week after her 5th birthday. We did 3 different farms before we found Baymar 6 months later, and here we've stayed because we've gotten really good treatment and good instructors. And when I say treatment, I say that because the other 3 farms, there was always an issue. They either couldn't schedule us. I mean, we were coming Saturday mornings. They could have just given us a slot. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't schedule us. Scrambling for instructors. One farm moved on us, so they ended up pushing themselves out almost an hour further than they were when I first made the appointment for the lesson. So we finally got to Baymar 6 months later, and we've stayed here. And the nice part is it's only 12 minutes away from our home, and it's nice. This is like a quarter of the farm. It's huge. Anyways, have a great rest of your day. I'm kind of on the back slot of it. Take care. More of the tour of the farm. A little bit more as I'm heading back to the car. This is kind of the back side of the farm. Still, I know I'm moving the camera around quickly. That's where I was. Joy's out there riding now.
Now, Jesse, make sure you don't pop beach balls with that umbrella.
Wow, Katie, Jesse, Kelly, that's a lot of beach gear you're packing into that new 2021 Ram 1500
Front end there wraps around all of the horse stalls are inside all of those barns. That's the big indoor barn. It's huge. There's Joy warming up.